Hello, it's Tom Donald from the London Contemporary School of Piano. Today, we're going to look at 8 chord progressions, 8 of the best chord progressions for beginners to learn. So if you're a relative beginner or intermediate pianist, these are the chord progressions I think you should be looking at to help your playing. I'm sure I'm going to miss out a couple of really good ones, but here are 8 go-tos that I think you're going to find really helpful. And if you wonder about where I am right now, I'm in a really exciting, beautiful location here. I am in Leipzig, Germany, at the Blüthner Piano Factory. And here I am sitting on this beautiful modern day Blüthner, this beautiful white piano. I thought it would be the right fit for today's tutorial, actually, because there's a couple of artists I've seen over the years that play on these types of pianos, and I thought, well, this would be a bit of fun. And here I am on this really cold winter's day here in Leipzig. It's actually really beautiful outside. The sun is setting right now. It feels quite like, it feels like I'm in a film right now. And in fact, we are making a film, but the sort of film we're making right now is a tutorial to help you improve the piano. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with a nice progression which I call a walk down progression. I'm going to show it to you in C major, but we are going to play it in a few other keys because you don't just want to get married to C major, but it's a good place to start. And the walk down progression, let's say we're in the key of C major. I'm going to be talking a lot in numbers today because that helps you understand the structure of a chord progression. I know some of you might prefer to think of chords in just the letters and the note names, but I will be talking about them in numbers as well. So when we get a C major scale, the fourth note of a C major scale is an F. So chord 4, chord 3, chord 2, chord 1. And that makes a nice little walk down. Like this. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn these chords into 7th chords now. And then it just is a game changer. So this is how I'm going to turn it into a 7th chord. I'm going to get that F major chord and using fingers 1, 2, 3, and 5. That's the 7th note of the chord, not my 7th finger. I don't have 7th fingers. God, that'd be amazing. So here we go. Here's our F major 7 chord. And it's just got extra color to it now, the sound, with that major 7. I'm going to keep that position as I walk down the scale. E minor 7, D minor 7, C major 7. So I'm just going to play this a few times. You hear this in sort of Alicia Keys-like songs. Reminds me of a lot of that soul music. Let's say just sitting here in Germany, in Leipzig, Germany here, as the sun is setting on this beautiful Blüthner piano. It really is quite inspiring. It brings the chords to life. So maybe when you play, just imagine you're in a special place. Imagine, where does the music take you? You can just be sitting at home, but often I do this when I'm just sitting at home on an ordinary day. I'm not in places like this every day, I can guarantee you that. But when you're just sitting at home, just think of where is your mind? Where is the music taking you? Is it taking you to a place, or does it remind you of something or somebody, a time in your life? Music has to have that emotional connection. It's not just an intellectual exercise. Yes, I'm playing chord 4, 3, 2, and 1, and you need to understand that, but music has to have that emotional connection as well. And if you head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, you can claim your free resources kit that has these chord progressions written down, including this one. And I can do other things with this chord progression. I can take it down an octave to get some extra bass. I can play an octave in the left hand for the bass. Makes quite a difference. Or I could arpeggiate the chord, and arpeggios are so good to learn. It really helps open up our wrist and our hands, so I can do things like this. That's another cool little trick. All I did there was just play that C major 7 chord, but I moved it into different octaves with my foot on the pedal, and I just let this beautiful piano do the work for me. Makes such a big difference. So that pedal can really help as well. So the concept of that chord progression is very simple. It really is a chord progression for a beginner, but there's so much you can do with it. It's such a rich chord progression. You don't have to be playing Mary Had a Little Lamb in your piano lessons, right? You can be doing things like that. So the second progression, before we move to the second progression, we're going to play the same progression in another key. We're going to transpose this to the key of F major. I said we weren't going to be married to C major today. So here's our F major scale. So the fourth note of the F major scale is B flat. And using that, I'm going to construct my B flat major chord, A minor chord, G minor chord, F major, which is chord 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I'm going to add the sevenths to them. Now they're different notes, but it's the same progression as I was doing before in the key of C major. And I'm using the same fingering, 1, 2, 3, and 5. This fingering is really good to use because it opens up all of my wrists. And the key is really relax your wrist when you play these shapes. Some of you will find these shapes difficult at first, and if that's you, finding them difficult, that's fine. Just arpeggiate. If you've got really small hands, arpeggiate. You're only running your own race. It's not like this is the right way to do it, this is the wrong way to do it. That doesn't work for piano playing. You have to play in your way, on your terms, that suits you. That's really important in your education. So we got this progression. I'll arpeggiate it nice and slowly. A minor 7. G minor 7. F major 7. So there's a really nice progression for you to play around with in both of those keys. And by the way, head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get your free resources kit, which accompanies these videos, including this one, 8 great chord progressions for beginners. So we've done that progression. Let's now play, this is a great progression. It's used in a lot of pop songs. It's called 1, 5, 6 to 4. But I'm not just going to give you those chords, I'm going to give you a bit more to it. So we've got chord 1, chord 5, chord 6. I'm not even using any inversions here. Chord 4, then I'm going to go chord 1, chord 5, and I'm going to do my walk down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you guess the song? I'll play each chord twice. I'll do it again. That's the Beatles' Let It Be, which, by the way, was recorded on a Blüthner grand piano. Not this one, not a white one, a more traditional one, in the 1960s at Abbey Road Studios, and it's got that beautiful, warm sound, so it's very authentic. So it's a great progression, but I'm not just giving you the progression to learn the Beatles here. No, I'm going to be a bit of a taskmaster with you today because we need to learn how to do this in other keys. So if we think in numbers, it's 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to transpose that again to F major scale. Maybe I'll do that down an octave. Let's work this out slowly. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, you're not just learning a great chord progression there, you're learning how to transpose that into other keys, which gives you a great musical tool called flexibility. That flexibility to move into different keys. And you'll be able to host the next sing-song around the piano. Yeah, playing the piano is a social thing. You want to have people around you, have some friends around, and you're having a nice time. Oh, you just play a bit of Let It Be. Sing with me. You don't have to play the melody, you can just play the chords. Piano is a social instrument. We want to have that feeling when we play. So that's the second chord progression, Let It Be. Let's head on over to the third chord progression now. We're going to do a bit more adjustments now. We're going to change a few things to the chords. We're not just going to strictly stick inside the scale. And that's what composers often do. They often borrow notes from other scales and other keys to spice things up a little bit. And there's some beautiful progressions you can play that utilize this. So I'm going to go through a quick few to show you. So this is a great one. This is a progression I really love. And I'll play it for you now. This is used in so many songs, I don't even know where to begin. But the reference I'm going to give you is the end of Hey Jude. You know that bit? So what is the theory? What's going on here? So we've got the 7 chords in the scale, but in a C major scale, and this is still in the key of C major, the 7th note is a B, but we're not playing any Bs. We're replacing a B with a B flat instead to create a B flat major chord. But it's still starting and ending on C, so it is in the key of C major because it's starting and ending on C, but we have a B flat. And I get this a lot in the comments section. People go, oh, you're playing this chord progression in D major, but you used this note, and that's not in the D major scale, like it's a violation of rules or something. It actually isn't. When you bring in notes from other keys, it makes it interesting. And composers have been doing this for hundreds of years because it makes music, it gives music character, makes it interesting. It's a bit like inviting the neighbours around. You just don't just want to be with your immediate family, and the immediate family is the scale. Of course, we all love our immediate family, but we want to invite other people into our world as well. And that's what's musically going on. We're inviting a chord that doesn't belong to C major. So how do we explain that in a music theory way? Well, the B is 7, but I've turned it into a B flat, so I have flattened the 7. I've taken it down an octave for convenience, because it's quite close to the C there. So we call this chord a flattened 7th. C to B flat. It's a flattened 7th. So we've got chord 1, then the flattened 7, which is the B flat, then the F, then the 1. Let's do that again. 1, flatten 7, 4, then the 1. Let's do that again. So let's do another progression. This is the 4th one, and we're going to use more of these mixture exercises. I love this next one because it's got a really gospel-y sound to it, a slightly bluesy sound. It just warms your heart and soul, this one. And on this sort of cold winter's day here in Leipzig, this is going to be the perfect progression to warm us up. So we've got a C. We're still in the key of C major, but I'm now going to use a flattened 3rd. Do you want to have a guess what a flattened 3rd is? Well, the 3rd chord is E minor. I'm going to flatten it and turn it into an E flat major. And by the way, when I start flattening chords, I will usually make them major because it's more coherent that way. So I've got C major to an E flat major. Doesn't that sound so good? Just those 2 chords put together. They're both major chords, but the E flat comes from a C minor, right? C major, C minor. So it creates a slight feeling of minor without playing minor. Pretty clever stuff, hey? Then I'm going to go to a chord 4, to a chord 1. I'm not even using any inversions. I'm playing it in a really plain and simple way. But it sounds so good. So if you're a beginner, you can have fun with these progressions. C, E flat, F, C, 1, flat and 3, 4, 1. Let's do that a couple more times. So it's a great progression. Now this next one uses even more mixture techniques. So we're going to throw in the flattened 6th and the flattened 7th. So the flattened 6th would be, there's the 6th note, I've flattened it, so it's an A flat. And we get an A flat major chord here. Flattened 6, and then the flattened 7 is the B flat, and then the 1. I call this the Disneyan progression because you hear it at the end of Disney films all the time. Like when the Disney film is about to end, you know, it's the end of all of those films. It's very dramatic. It's used a lot in Italian opera as well. It's not just used in Disney. You know, just you're on a C major, you know, the A flat major. So it's beautiful, isn't it? It's just got so much, it's got excitement, anticipation about it. Again, I can just play it like this. C major, A flat major, B flat major, C major, C major, A flat major, B flat major, C major. I could add some inversions to it as well. Try it in different ways. Now the next progression, my favourites to teach beginner students, and it's a little bit challenging, but it's really important to start using more 7th chords. So this is a C minor 7 chord. Don't think about the theory too much. Here are your notes, C, E flat, G, and B flat. Again, just getting that shape under your fingers. You might need to use arpeggios if you find that challenging. And then I'm going to go to an F major chord, but I'm going to use an inversion. I'm not going to jump up like this. Instead, I'm going to drop the top 2 notes of the chord, the G and the B flat, down to an F and an A. And I get an F major chord. So I've got the C minor 7, and I've got the F major. Just using fingers 1, 3, and 5 on the F major. I put a little bit of a nice funky groove to it. Put some bass on it. It's just 2 chords, but it sounds so good. And I can do this in different keys. What about D minor? D, F, A, and C. Stay with me here. Don't think about the theory. Just get your fingers there. Just get your hands dirty, basically. You've got to play them. D minor 7. G, see the G major. I've dropped the top 2 notes again. D, G, and B. So that's my position. D, F, A, C, D, G, and B. Let's do it. Just play along with me. Now back to C minor 7. Sorry, I'm showing off. But you get the idea, you get the gist. And by the way, visit our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get the free resources kit, because these chords are there and you can sit down slowly on your piano and practice it. You can only do so much watching YouTube. And, I'm really happy and privileged to know that you're enjoying this content. But at the end of the day, you actually have to just sit down and do this yourself. Be independent. That's why we have the free resources kit, because here at the school, we really care at the London Contemporary School of Piano about your progress. We want people around the world to play more piano and progress more. That's our mission. So that's why we make all these videos. That's why we go to all this trouble, flying around the world to the best piano manufacturers and factories on this planet that make the most beautiful pianos in the world, to bring you these videos, because we want you to improve. Yes, we have our programs and our courses, which are a tier and a step higher, but a step higher in commitment and making progress and structuring your practice. But we want you to improve. So get that resources kit. Go over to the site and get the resources kit so you can start practicing this stuff. Get your hands onto your keyboard at home or whatever instrument you've got, and start playing. And as it makes all the difference. Okay, so I think we've got a couple of more progressions to go out of our 8. And this is a really beautiful progression, this one. And it's used in lots of songs, and it's got a sort of a very English feel, a very Elton John or Andrew Lloyd Webber feel to it. And all it is chords 1, 4, and 5, but we're doing a little trick with the left hand. So chords 1, 4, and 5. Let's do this in a different key. Let's get away from C major. Let's do this in a key like F major. Chord 1 is F. Chord 4 is B flat. And chord 5 is C. Let's do that again. We'll do this down an octave. F, B flat, and C. F, B flat, C, B flat. Now we're going to add the little Andrew Lloyd Webber trick to it. We're going to have what we call a lazy left hand, where we just play the same note in the left hand and actually not move the left hand to the chord. So I'm going to keep the left hand on what we call a technique known as pedal point. The great innovator of pedal point was J.S. Bach. Here in this town, Leipzig, in Germany, pedal point was invented on the organ, where the organist would have their foot, because on an organ you actually have an octave of notes that you play as well. So you're not only playing with your 10 fingers, you're playing with your feet as well. It's a bit like dancing, pretty difficult stuff. But a technique known as pedal point is where you have the same note. On the organ it would be, and it's just ringing out throughout the church. But this is used in pop music as well. These classical concepts are totally contemporary as well. We hear them also in contemporary music. So I just have that F just ringing consistently while I play the chords 1, 4, 5, and 4. It creates this feeling of staying. All the Eltons do this all the time, and also other groups like Ben Folds 5, or Lloyd Webber. I mean, half of Phantom of the Opera is this progression, literally. Like about 4 or 5 songs from Phantom of the Opera uses this progression. We can do this in a couple of other keys. What about in E flat major? Or a nice easy C major. Okay, we've got 2 progressions left. I hope you've learnt a lot today. We've got some really cool ones to look at as well. So the next progression, this is just a nice feel-good progression. I'm going to do it in C, and it's a suspended second. So here's a C sus2. So I've got the C major chord, and I've just taken the middle note down to a D, and that's I left it hanging in the air. like this. Doesn't that sound great? But now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do like a pedal point in the right hand. My right hand's just going to stay lazily on those 3 notes while I move around the left hand. And the left hand's just moving on 1, 3, 4, and 5 of the scale, C. I can start improvising in the right hand by just, it's not even really improvising, I'm just cycling around those suspended notes in the right hand. Just 3 notes I'm playing in the right hand, and just 4 in the left. The C in the left, the E in the left, the F in the left, adding a couple of extra notes. Sounds really nice at the top of the piano. I have a beautiful sound. I'm going to even go higher. What is it? At the very top. We'll use all of those 88 notes on the piano, you know. Okay, 1 progression to go. And again, head on over to our website, contemporaryschoolofpiano.com, to get the resources kit, because these chords are there and you can practice them and you can start playing around with them. So many progressions, it's always hard to choose which ones are going to be the most fun or representative of developing your playing as a beginner. But here's a progression I particularly love. It's really beautiful. And I'm going to go into another key. I'm going to show you a couple of other chords. We're going to do this in F minor, and it starts on an F minor. And then we're going to go to a D flat major. Now, if you've never played a D flat major chord before, don't worry, because I've got my F minor chord here, and now I'm just going to lift that top note up a half note, and I get a D flat major chord in an inversion, because a D flat major chord's actually this. Here it is in the inversion, very close to my F minor. So you don't have to think about the theory too much, just get your hands on. And I just... Doesn't that sound so beautiful? It's so simple. And I'm just cycling it through with arpeggios or broken chords. Here as I'm sitting here in Leipzig, in Germany, at the Blüthner Piano Factory, the sun is setting outside, it's just sort of magical. On this cold winter's day. Though this is YouTube, you could be watching this in the summer. You could be on the other side of the world or something. And if you're a fan of our work at the London Contemporary School of Piano, the first thing you should do is just actually sit down and practice these progressions, show some commitment to your playing, but you should consider one of our programs like the Complete Musician course. You can only get so far on YouTube. At the end of the day, YouTube is just an algorithm, and algorithms won't get you very far because there's no structure. You need a structure that's fit for the 21st century adult piano student who's learning for pleasure and enjoyment, or who wants to develop their skills, who's a beginner intermediate player. And I only wish material like this was available to me when I first started learning piano. Our Complete Musician program not only comes with 8 powerful modules, it comes with support from our team and access to our wonderful community of students just like yourself, where you can talk to on our portal, get ideas, we inspire each other, or you can be more incognito and self-study the program. You can study the program on your own terms. It's not like you're going back to school. This is for you. This is your time for yourself. So you can play beautiful music and make some amazing progress. And our work comes backed up with years, 2 decades of research and development. So everything that we have put into the program comes from actual real things we've done in the classroom with our real students in London, who we see week in, week out, and we coach week in, week out, students like yourself. We're looking to play piano, so we know what works. And I'm just going to play us out on these two beautiful chords. See you on the next video.